Mortal Kombat Trilogy and more games online with retro achievements. You are looking at the Kinhank K36. This thing is a little powerhouse. It even runs Sega Saturn and Mortal Kombat Trilogy on that Sega Saturn. This has got your classic Atari, all your 2600, 5200, 7200. You got Lynx, Wonder Swan Color. You got Capcom Play System 1 and 2, 3, Commodore Amiga, MSX 1 and 2, PC Engine, Super Graphics, Family Computer. That's Nintendo right there. You got Famicom right there as well. See if I can, there we go. Got Game Boy on this, Super Famicom. Can't go wrong with Super Famicom. Super Nintendo Hacks, Virtual Boy, everybody's favorite Super Red console. The Nintendo 64, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. You got Pokemon Mini on here? Nintendo DS is on this as well. And the screen on this is absolutely tremendous. A Thomas Wave SG-1000. Got all your Sega titles. Sega 32X, Sega CD. There's your Sega Saturn and Dreamcast. This can also be connected to retro achievements. You can connect this to your local Wi-Fi, make a retro achievements account on retroachievements.com, and then you can play your favorite retro games with retro trophies. Pretty freaking cool. And let's jump into... I'll show you the Sega Saturn that they had on this. I think that was up here. So, Sega Saturn, Mortal Kombat Trilogy. I mean, this is a game that, honestly, if you were to go buy this is a very expensive collector's item on the Sega Saturn. Not many people have played Sega Saturn Mortal Kombat Trilogy. This thing has it, and it is a gem of a game. It's very similar to the PlayStation ports. Basically, kind of a version of that ported over. Let's see. So you got the classic Sega logo. This does come with a dongle as well. You can actually add your own games. This comes with a USB dongle where you can take and insert the USB flash drive, add more games to it. You got 2 analog sticks here, and you have 4 back buttons right there. The classic Mortal Kombat Trilogy splash screen. Let me focus back in on that. That's pretty cool. And then, as always, you're going to have to go in and configure some buttons and things like that. But, for the most part, it should work. Let's go ahead and jump into this and see. Hopefully, I think Mortal Kombat Trilogy should be configured. We'll find out in a moment. I think I should have swapped around my run and block, but that's alright. It'll be okay. We'll make it work. I know my run's over here on this side. And then you got your volume on this side too. Make sure I'm hitting it right. It's probably going to be a little bit loud when it goes into play. This is classic. This is classic. Now, if I think I'm correct on the moves here, it's going to be... It's probably my block, right? Is this my block? Yeah. Nice. Scorpion wins. Let's go. Nice. I should have set up my controls on it, but that's alright. We don't need... We'll still make this work. Didn't give me the finish him. That sucks. But that's alright, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the cool thing about this is when you get done and you want to just finish up with it, start and select, takes you right here. This is where you can configure your controls, things of that nature, if you need to make controls inside the emulator. Like, everything is already pretty well set up, so you don't have to worry about anything in the emulator here. You just have to go into the game itself and inside Mortal Kombat Trilogy set up the controls. You can click on exit there. It takes you right back to the menu. And then the neat thing, if you hit start, you can go into your settings here, and inside settings is where you can actually set up your network with your internet, and then you can go into stuff like game settings and turn on retro achievements. I don't know if that's visible there. Retro achievements, that is absolutely tremendous. So you could play your favorite games with trophies online on this portable handheld device. This thing's loaded with games, classic games. We gotta do, let's go over and check out, do we have Mortal Kombat 2 on Game Boy? We're about to find out. The music goes unnecessarily hard. That's very appreciated. I always like to see these little setups, how they're put together, and this one is very well. I haven't seen any duplicates. Can't imagine this music's copyrighted. We got Mortal Kombat 2. Let's go. Alright, so Mortal Kombat 2 was now I wonder. Let me see. I wonder if I'll need to reconfigure the controls. I doubt it. I mean, we only had 2 buttons on this thing back in the day. I mean, if you're playing a handheld, you're testing a handheld, you do need to, you know, play a handheld game on it, right? Let's just jump in here. Alright. I mean, Liu Kang? Hot dang. Let's go. Alright, is this going to be my bicycle kick? Yep. Bro, this version had no business being as fun as it was. Mortal Kombat 2 on the Game Boy. If you've not played it, this is a game to play. But it plays great on this. And I mean, you know, if you're somewhere where you lose power often or something like that. Also, this runs off of a Type-C charger. Has a Type-C charger port on it, and it has an OTG port. So you can actually charge something else off of this, which is pretty cool. We got a flawless victory. It doesn't get any better than that, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're following along with me, you remember, start and select will take us back to the main menu here. But I'm really impressed with this. I mean, and it comes loaded with games. You got all the classics here. I mean, and you can add games to it. Virtual Boy, Nintendo 64. I mean, let's just check out some Nintendo 64. Now, I noticed that there's no Mortal Kombat here. But 64 emulation is pretty wonky in general, so you can always add the game to it and see if it works. I don't know, it might not work. On Nintendo 64 in general, is just to emulate it is kind of a nightmare, especially when it comes to setting up controls. But let's try some Wave Race and see how this runs. And the cool thing about this is, like I said, it does come with a dongle that you can just easily plug into your computer. And yo, let's go. This is all right. We'll go on normal. Start the race. I don't need to warm up. Alright, I'll go with this, please. This screen on this is gorgeous. This is like... This is a beautiful screen. There we go, I guess we'll go warm up. Ooh, this looks good. So far, it runs perfect, too. Nintendo 64 stuff is real. Alright, and you got your 2 analog sticks at the bottom. Cool. I'm just going to exit the game, but as you can see, this thing is tremendous. I was blown away with this from the first time I picked it up and got a chance to start diving into it. And it does come with a dongle, so you can add games to it as well. Nintendo DS, I mean, there's honestly too much to get into, but I'm going to wrap up the video by going out with a classic. I mean, it doesn't get any more classic to me than looking at Mortal Kombat on the Sega Genesis. Now, anything on the Sega Genesis will probably run like an absolute dream. This was not a hard console to put back together, you know, in emulation years later. To run, I should say. I just want to see the splash screen. Absolute gold. And when you're playing for trophies, it'll pop up what trophies are available on the screen. Now, on something like this, you may have to configure controls. And since you don't have controls in the game, you'll have to figure out... Let me see. Yeah, you'll have to go in to start and select, but if you have to set up controls, it's very easy. You just hit start and select will take you back to the main menu, I believe, but in game, I believe it is select and X. Because this is basically, let's see, I get, is it? Yep, there it is right there. So you can go in here, if you hit select and X, you can go down here to your controls, and you'll be able to change up your controls as you like. And this is running in RetroArch. So if you're familiar with that, that's what that is. And then you just hit select and X, and you can go back right there, and X is the top button right there. So that's how that works. And when you come across a game that needs to have the controls set up, you just do it like that. Classic. This thing is a beast. And since it's running on RetroArch, I'm not 100% sure this may be able to play online with NetPlay as well. But with that said, I'm going to wrap up the video there. Then once again, this is the Kinhank K36. This was sent over for review purposes. I appreciate it very, very much. And being completely honest, this thing is absolutely amazing. To have a little portable handheld console with a screen quality this good. I mean, this is full HD right here. And to be able to play your classic games like this, you know, in a small form factor like this, you got all the analog sticks, everything. This is a perfect little device. And the real hidden gem about this is able to connect to the internet and can actually go online and connect to do retro achievements. If you don't know what those are, look up retro achievements online. It's a great way to play all your favorite retro games online with retro achievements, but you need to have different emulators set up, and it's a little bit tricky, but it is built into this, so all the hassle's taken out for you. But thank you for checking out the video. I'm gonna head out there and go play some Mortal Kombat on my new Kinhank K36. Let me know what you think below. This thing is a fun little toy to have. I appreciate you checking out the video, and as always, I'll see you on the next one, friendos.